Pulling up, beating on Swervin. Bad bitch pushing on curving. Run it up like a nigga earning. Gotta check, now a nigga smurfing. Pull up in a rose, now she wanna roll. Everybody talking, but they coming to the shows. Pull up in a rose, now she wanna roll. Everybody talking, but they coming to the shows. Pulling up, beating on Swervin. Bad bitch pushing on curving. Run it up like a nigga earning. Gotta check, now a nigga smurfing. Pull up in a rose, now she wanna roll. Everybody talking, but they coming to the show. Pull up in a rose, now she wanna roll. Everybody talking, but they coming to the show. I don't wanna talk, gotta listen. Diamonds on me drip, I'm a wishing, wow. Don't know what you seen in me, girl. You was my all, you believed in me, girl. First day we spent was so real to me, girl. Next time I promise to give you the world. Diamonds be shining, you dripping in pearls. Girl, I ain't lying, you know you my world. Girl, I can't pass up on my love. Addicted to you like a drug. Hoping that this is enough. Running to you, you the one. Running to you, you the one. Pulling up, beating on Swervin. Bad bitch pushing on curving. Run it up like a nigga earning. Gotta check, now a nigga smurfing. Pull up in a rose, now she wanna roll. Everybody talking, but they coming to the shows. Pull up in a rose, now she wanna roll. Everybody talking, but they coming to the shows. Pulling up, beating on Swervin. Bad bitch pushing on curving. Run it up like a nigga earning. Gotta check, now a nigga smurfing. Pull up in a rose, now she wanna roll. Everybody talking, but they coming to the show. Pull up in a rose, now she wanna roll. Everybody talking, but they coming to the shows.
Trapped in a cubicle. If I did it, then you can do it too. Just follow my moves. I pull up, you know I be moving. Whipping the foreign, I'm cruising. The money I'm speaking is fluent. All of my business booming. Stacking my cash in abundance. All of my family funded. Finally got what I wanted. Life is amazing, I love it. Everyone know that I run it. Yeah, my family home for the holidays. I'm in the studio cooking up music, cause I know I never got time to waste. This is a decision I gotta make. Made it here, I can't stop now. Had to make what I got now. This the life I chose, seen the highs and lows. I've been getting what I want now. Middle finger to the middleman. Fuck what you posting on Instagram. Never been part of the fake shit. Everyone rapping, I swear that I hate it. Yeah, all of them wanna be famous. Give them a week and they fading. You buying a chain, I'm buying a crib, cause we not the same. I pull up, you know I be moving. Whipping the foreign, I'm cruising. The money I'm speaking is fluent. All of my business booming. Stacking my cash in abundance. All of my family funded. Finally got what I wanted. Life is amazing, I love it. Everyone know that I run it, yeah. Took all the energy, turned it to greatness. Now look at my life, man, it's looking amazing. I'm ready for anything, anyone. I've been so ready for everything I become. When I was stuck, I had no other option. Believed in myself when the shit wasn't popping. I got it like that. Who you know got it like that? Who you know getting degrees and they rapping like they got diplomas in rap. Made it this far and I still got a lot to accomplish. In fact, and I know they believe it. I'm talking arenas from LA to Sweden. I never stop winning. I feel undefeated. I come to your city and everyone pulling up. Shut it down when I'm pulling up. Come around when I'm pulling up. In my town and I'm pulling up. Ready for anything, anyone. Know that I get it done. In the bands I be pulling up. Tell your friends cause I'm pulling up.
Yeah, boy. Welcome back to another Elite Only podcast featuring Mike, Max, Isaac, and Hayden. Miles is not with us today because he's a Jeff.
It is what it is, but, you know,
Isaac, you muted.
Isaac's the Jeff. Is really
I am a Jeff. I mean, it is what it is, but we're gonna push forward, the Power 4, and we're gonna be hosting this stream tonight. So everyone who's in the stream, welcome. It's gonna be an interesting one. If you are uninformed, we have a challenge going on this stream. We got Mike, who's got to finish a singular gallon of milk over the entirety of the stream. So, Mike, you got any strats or anything that you're gonna be doing?
Yeah, you're not doing it.
To finish the gallon, or?
I'm just gonna drink it normally and see what happens. I really think I will drink it all.
I feel like if anyone can do it, it's Mike. I don't know why.
I don't see it happening.
Weird
Mike,
like
on a
that.
scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you're gonna finish that gallon before the end of the stream?
A 9.
A 9.
Weird like that.
What do you think the chances are that you're gonna uke?
Probably not a lot, because I eat so much and drink so much during the day, like, even at one time, and I don't throw up. I haven't thrown up in like probably over 5 years.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Medical explanation.
Did you look it up?
The primary difficulty in completing this challenge lies in the limited capacity of the stomach. Generally, the stomach can hold only half a gallon, 1.9 liters. Stretch receptors in the organ sense when it is limited reach, triggering a vomit reflex that swiftly empties the stomach. Moreover, drinking a gallon of milk is more difficult than drinking a gallon of water. The fat and protein in milk each inhibit the stomach from releasing its contents in the small intestine, forcing more of the liquid to remain in the stomach. In turn, the action of gastric acid and proteases in stomach cause proteins in the milk to unravel and expand the liquid into a thick semi-solid substance, further reducing the amount of fluid that can be held in the stomach without being regurgitated. That sounds like you're not doing it.
All right. Good luck to you, Mike. I feel like drink.
I guess, hey, let him try, because one way or another, we're going to find a result. So.
Yeah. Have you started, Mike?
I've taken like 3 sips.
Oh boy.
Is it
Yeah,
lagging
chugging
for anybody
my
else?
muscle milk.
Muscle.
Max just like froze for me, but I think it's just his Wi-Fi. And
Hello?
Isaac, it's really echoey.
Is it
This
really
stream
echoey?
is,
Alright,
but it's like kind of like how it is normally.
I'll try and fix that real quick.
Max is lying, I think. You were breaking up. Could you reread that? Yeah, I'm not rereading that. You can look it up.
Is it better now? Possibly, maybe.
Hold on, I'll go listen.
Mustang mini tweet.
Let's take
Jacob Bugatti.
Mr. Coke in the morning.
Yes, it's like the same, but it's a little bit better.
Alright.
Max is gone.
Yeah. Alright, so now we're down to 3.
Now, Max will come back. He just is really laggy right now. He's gonna go switch his Wi-Fi. Rich boy.
Switch the Wi-Fi. That's the classic Max.
Wait, so, Mike, what happens if you don't finish?
That's what I'm asking.
Then, do you think maybe like he does another spin on the challenge wheel?
I don't know. I think he should just give it his best effort and like.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna just drink like 5 sips and be like, yeah, I couldn't do it, but I'll try and get as much as I can.
Yeah, I mean, if you finish over,
put a good effort in, like that's cool.
yeah, if you finish like
At
least 75% of it, I'd say that's good enough.
No, I think I'll
I think you can do that.
We should try a 24-hour stream.
Did we get into our first topic, or are we still waiting for that?
Let's wait for this Jeff to get back.
We only got 3 viewers right now, boys.
Jacob Dottie says you guys should try a 24-hour stream.
Yeah.
Skinboy04 said awesome.
Prada J.
We're up to 7 now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Look at these Jeffs.
Where the bums at?
I feel like a 24-hour stream would be like, it'd be interesting because we'd have to go through school. You know what I mean?
That'd be
We'll
kind
do it on a weekend, Jeff boy.
Or
Yeah,
we can-
Trent.
Patrick Trent.
Who are these people?
Did your brother send people from his thing or not?
Everyone from Sharpie's stream.
of.
I don't blame Matthews. Matthews is a big supporter.
I just left a huge stream and I plugged you guys.
No,
Might be
the
getting a
TV
lot
is
of
gonna be our mod. I made him our mod.
I don't
Make
blame
him a mod. Guys, you may be getting a lot of viewers. Really.
Yeah, we'll see.
Alright, well, this is like our worst stream so far, so hopefully it's...
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. We're missing 2 out of the 5 people, so. But we're gonna carry on. We had the idea of doing another list as we've done with the past 2 streams. So we could either do stuff like clothing brands or like shoe brands or sports dynasties. So I don't know. Anybody in the comments, if you like any of those ideas, tell us.
So we have sports dynasties? What? What are the options?
Sports dynasties, clothing brands, shoe brands.
What if we did, like, top 5 best seasons for New England sports teams?
Best seasons?
Hi, Max.
Alright.
Best
I
season.
don't know what just happened. My laptop just decided to geek out.
Most
Love it.
overplayed player in the MLB.
Nothing about that.
I don't really know much about the MLB, so
We never cover baseball, though, Loki.
yeah, that's true.
But we could do, like, best seasons for New England sports teams, the top 5. So, like, 2018 Red Sox, 2014 Red Sox, 2016 Patriots.
Or we could just rank like how, like, what the best teams in New England are. So the Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox, Patriots, and Revolution. We could rank those 5.
No, don't put Revolution in there, because that's gonna be... That better be 5th on everybody's list.
That's number 1 on mine.
Yeah?
Just saying.
Top 5 biggest recent sports scandals.
So yeah, we could throw Kareem Hunt in there, Gray Rice.
The Flip
Not
game.
exactly a scandal.
Little bit,
Deflategate's a
little
scandal.
sprinkle of Tyreek Hill.
What did Tyreek Hill do?
I don't know. He did something to a woman.
Oh, the cheetah.
No, that was Kareem Hunt, bro.
Kareem Hunt kicked a woman. I
What
didn't-
did Tyreek Hill do?
Tyreek Hill did
No.
something.
Kareem Hunt's the one that got in trouble with the Chiefs, not Kareem Hunt.
You just said Kareem Hunt twice.
I mean, Tyreek, Jesus.
Hey, welcome.
No, look who it is.
Alright, so,
Hey.
for everybody that came from the big stream that Crowbit tagged us in, we now have all 5 of the members of Elite Only, so just a little heads up for you guys. But
Wait, what happened?
So-
Fucking robot, like put us in. He just. I don't know what he did, but we got like random viewers.
Mr. Crowbutt.
He's now our mod.
He plugged us. Yeah.
Facts.
Matisse our mod.
Hayden, you should go. You should go tell your brother to go drop us in a stream.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jonah. Shout us out.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll get Jonah's boys in here.
Yo, we did.
Popping off.
We were at 47 subs. Now we're at 50.
We're at 50.
There.
Jeez.
Big 5-0.
Alright, I just sent it to Jonah.
Nice.
Hold on. Jonah! Get your boys in the stream!
Hayden, get John to watch. John and Claudia.
No.
He's so
Skin
I
don't think John or Claudia wants to watch.
Yeah, no. Definitely not Claudia.
Mike, how much of that milk have you slugged so far?
a lot. It's not normal.
Is it affecting you?
Not yet, but shit a lot.
Give, give it a
I'm
minute.
nervous because we just read that thing.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
was it?
And he was so confident about it.
Wait, what'd you read?
I'll get it.
We pretty much read to him how he's gonna puke. Is pretty much what we
Like the
did.
science behind it.
It's 75%, and I've done like 25.
No, you have to do the whole thing.
You said, well, yeah, but I'm gonna at least try and get 75.
I think it's
Okay,
fit.
but you don't win the challenge unless you get it all of it.
Yeah, oh wait, what's the consequences if he doesn't win the challenge?
I don't know. He just has
Then
to
does he have to do? Then does he have to do the drink challenge, the cup challenge?
Do we want to make him do another spin if he doesn't?
It depends.
Yeah, if he
It
doesn't
depends how
complete
much
it,
he
has to do
finishes
another
it.
spin.
Depends how much he finishes.
Yeah.
Alright, fair.
But I think it's fair to
if he
say
doesn't get one half, we gotta
You have
figure
to like
something
push
out.
yourself to like your limit though.
Yeah.
And, like,
you have to
try and
become a
finish it all.
superhuman.
you have to start gagging at some point.
What if I finish the gag?
Then you're
Then you're the
chilling.
man.
You're the
You can
man.
do it without throwing up, like good for you. But if you throw up, that's like good content. So throw up if you can. Just get a throw up bucket.
Just projectile at your camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike's just gonna.
Nah,
all
but
over it.
for real, I think Mike definitely learned his lesson. He's the only person besides Hayden that's actually recorded miles in the challenge for this week. So
Bro, I needed my legs
wanna
to get
share our
back into
challenge
it
results?
before.
Oh, I should have turned it on. I walked like 4 miles today.
that's walking,
I
not
should-
running.
Mike,
that doesn't
Mike
count.
today.
Yeah, I
Wait,
ran.
what today?
You ran or did you bike?
Me and Brandon ran, and then we biked.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Count
probably
miles
going.
you were biking.
No, we were running, and then we biked.
I'm probably gonna hang out like 3 miles ago. That's my goal.
Mike did 2 yesterday, 2 today. Yeah.
Yeah, I ran with Brandon yesterday, too, and then today.
How far did you bike?
But, well, we biked down to, like, almost... We biked to Brady Becott's house, so it was, like, 6 miles. Or 4.
Where's the bike path?
Yeah, we went on the bike path. It was very interesting.
Wasn't that the kid that went to our school for like 2
Yeah,
weeks?
he was in our homeroom and then he just dipped.
Yeah, gone.
And they went to ORR and they went 0-20 in hockey.
Nice.
No, he was at ORR. No, we went to Fairhaven. I
Oh,
thought.
he went back. Yeah, but Fairhaven.
They combined schools, yeah, because they don't have a hockey team.
And
You know,
We got 4 people in the penalty box.
Crowbutt should shout us out on a different stream too.
You should also be featured in the
Guess
Zoom.
guess who was in the penalty box? In the infamous penalty box?
Who?
Mitch?
Big Mitch.
Yes,
Big
sir.
Mitch.
I already knew it.
That's why they couldn't fit 5, you know?
During this running thing,
How much
when
does
we
he
finally
weigh?
get it
300?
to, like, 15 or 20 miles, are you gonna run the whole thing in one day still?
I'm gonna try.
Alright, to
That's
give
like
context
David
for anyone
Goggins
that's
stuff.
wondering, we're doing a challenge every week of who can run a certain amount of miles, and last week we did 8, and Mike lost, which is why he has to drink milk, a gallon of milk in an hour.
He doesn't finish it. Who finishes
Well,
it?
whoever
Yeah,
finishes
Mike
last.
finished
And
last.
today, this week it's 10 miles, and the only person that started is Hayden and Mike. So,
And Mike
we finished in one day.
He finished in 12 hours. Man, did you run that straight or did you go intervals like 5?
No, I ran it straight.
Jesus Christ.
That,
I went from my house to Fort Phoenix and back. Took an hour and a half.
That's crazy.
But I didn't stop once. So I was like,
Hayden, is that like the same distance from like my house to yours?
Yeah, you could have ran to my house.
Yeah, but that would have been like 14 miles because then I would have had to run back.
So
Yeah, I'll check how far it is from my crib to yours.
No.
Pretty
Yeah, that
sure
would have
it's-
been like a mile.
I'm pretty sure it's 11 miles because I've biked so many times to your house.
It's 8.8,
Like
but then
Mike's house?
no, from his house to mine.
Oh.
It's 8.8, but then I would have had to run back, so it would have been like close to like 19.
Sheesh.
17, 18, yeah.
Oh yeah, 17.
Do that when we have like 18 miles. We have to do it.
Maybe.
Yeah, go say hi to Isaac.
That's so deep though.
I fixed my bike's brakes today. Turned into a mechanic.
Erdelli broke his bike today when we were riding.
Yeah, brand new bike, just flat.
What's our topic for today?
Oh no, I'm lagging again.
Mateeves is telling a story in chat.
Did I tell you the story of a kid I went to school with that took a kid's nose off with a hammer? This kid was selling drugs and something was wrong, so he took the kid's nose off with a hammer.
Nice.
17.6.
Why did you mod this kid?
Yeah, who modded him?
Mike?
No, it was Max.
Mike,
Yeah.
you banned him for like 20 minutes one video, and the next video.
They're only like real supporters.
Alright, fair.
Like his
Crowbutt.
Yeah. Wait, what was 17.6?
The amount of miles it would have taken for Hayden to go to Isaac
And back.
Who is
and back.
The Skin Boy 04.
We don't know.
What up, Skin Boy 04?
How's it going?
How do you know how long it was to Isaac's house from here?
Because I just looked at Google Maps.
Fire.
So 8.8 times 2.
Did you say Isaac the address?
No.
No.
Oh, you just said
Yeah,
8.8 times.
we're that stupid.
No, but you said 8.8 times 2.
What are we with the gang? Drop the addy. Drop the addy.
I was confused.
Drop the Addy. Drop Addy.
BBC Addy drop.
Top 5 favorite STEM teachers.
That's a good one. Number
You wanna do
one's
that?
gotta be
You
Lauren
wanna do
Pratt.
Yeah. Well,
Gotta be
then we
Lauren
gotta
Pratt.
do franchises.
Mine goes
I'd
Miss Cardi.
Yo, I think we can do both of those in one video.
Yeah,
It's
like,
like-
Sir Skin Boy, you love to see it.
No, I say we just focus all of our time on doing the staying teachers one, and then do
Yeah.
like the other one some other time.
No.
And then, like have a good amount of time to like debate and like argue.
Yes, but no one knows staying.
So let's do franchises.
Let's just do New England franchises. So ranking
Yeah.
Patriots, Celtics, Bruins, and Red Sox.
So New England franchises.
Right?
Okay.
Alright, that's fair. We
So
can do
ranking
that.
those
I
four.
thought we were doing franchises like of all time.
Do we want to do that? Of
We'd
all
have to-
time?
Do
we'd
we
have
want
to pick a sport.
all-time sport? Like, we have to pick a sport if we're gonna do all-time.
No.
Yeah, no, it's pick a sport. Let's pick a sport.
Each sport's different
I feel
caliber
like
and difficulty.
We'd all have the the best overall knowledge of basketball, so we can probably do basketball.
Yeah, so let's do top 5 basketball franchises of all time.
So are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it of all time, or you want to do like as of late, like the past decade? Or
No,
something?
all time, all time.
All time.
All time.
Because as of late, it's literally just the Warriors. Like,
Yeah, but you have a top 5 though. Like Warriors would obviously be number 1, but like, actually,
let's do all time.
I have a top 3. I don't like it's tough.
Well, top two is
Which
easy.
just
Alright.
basketball franchise.
Like so,
Top 3 or top
how
5?
top 5?
Top five.
Alright, boys, wait. 94 Nebraska or 97 Notre Dame? I don't know what you're referring to, but
He's probably referring to football.
What is that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Alright, so we're doing...
What's this? So how are we like answering these? Like answering our top 5 by like best like
Whatever you think, like, put it out there, and then you have to be able to back up your answer. Pretty much.
like winning wise or
Just
like
whatever you believe, and then make sure you can back it up.
Overall
Alright.
success, so you can be measuring that by like total amount of championships or
Yeah, do whatever you want, as
or,
long
like,
as you can back up your
yeah,
information.
consistent playoff appearances, whatever. I think 1 and 2 are easy though.
Yeah, you know, we'll see what people say.
Oh shoot! I forgot about the top 2 franchises right now.
That one, and then 3 is an interesting one.
I went Mike.
This is tough, actually.
I have my top 3.
I think I have my top
3.
I have my top 3, but I just don't know how to order them.
Huh.
Like, I have my top 3 things I want to put in. I just really don't know how to order them.
I know how I'm gonna order mine just because like it makes sense.
Can we get a milk check, Mike? What are we looking at, Mike? You're on mute, bud.
What was that noise?
Mike.
Yeah.
Here's Jeff.
Milk check.
How much milk
Mike,
do you
milk
have
check.
left? Good amount.
Mike's gonna die tonight, I swear.
I'm drinking probably, I'd say about 40%.
It's like close to half.
Yeah.
Nah, Mike's been on TikTok. That's what he does in streams. He goes on TikTok.
Mike, do you even have a list yet?
What are we doing?
Oh my god, dude.
Franchises, I know, show.
Mike, show us the milk.
He already did. He already did.
Show us the milk. Dude, 4 and 5 are gonna be random ones.
I have an honorable mention too.
Okay.
No one cares about your honorable mention.
Would you rather be 6'10" or 4'3"? 6'10". Who wants to be 4'3"?
I mean, party size, I guess, or fun size, whatever they call it.
Yeah, so you can just be thrown around. 4'3". That's like Skin Boy's a big boy. 6'8".
Well, I'm 6'8".
Well, I'm
110?
110.
What?
Huh?
What? That's cap.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible.
That can't be possible. I'm 5'7" and I'm 140.
Yeah, no, if you're 110, though, you
Mike
gotta go
is
see
skinny.
somebody.
Mike is very skinny, and he is like 140.
110.
110 is a twist.
Even it makes my point even more valid.
No, you're anorexic if you're 6'10", 6'8", 110.
Oh, it's a
Skin, what's your huddle?
What's your huddle? But he's trying to plug himself out here.
So how many people do you guys have on your list or franchise?
I got 4.
I got 5, but I got an honorable
4.
mention as well.
Okay. I don't know, man. 4 and 5, I'm just stuck on.
I don't know. I'm debating on my last one.
Debating on your last one. I'm just gonna look at a list of NBA teams. And then...
Are we going like by dominance, kinda, or like?
Yeah, like
Two.
just success throughout the entirety of the NBA. It is.
I'm going for like winning and like total dominance, kind of, in the league. Like, I'm not saying their whole. Are we saying like from like the beginning of the NBA to like now, like they've continued their dominance and winning, or just at
like
one
being
point
a
too,
successful franchise, like over 500, making the playoffs, like
every year, or like most years.
If you make the playoffs most years throughout your entire franchise, that's a successful franchise.
I'm just thinking of a team that was like good like in the old days, but then like now they're just falling off. This is tough.
Plus I'm a bench warmer. Nice.
I'm gonna put for 4 or 5.
I know who I got 4. I just don't know who to put for 5. Like I'm thinking of a team that had total dominance back then, but it's just they're terrible now.
Someone do a backflip.
Who's that, Miles?
What? I'm thinking of like the Pistons.
I wouldn't even call the Pistons dominant back then. They won like 2 titles.
I know, but their team, like the Bad Boys team, like
yeah, but they
a dynasty. I wouldn't call it a successful franchise.
yeah.
That's why I'm considering them. That's why I don't know if I want to put them or not.
Because let's be honest, the Memphis Grizzlies are probably taking it for everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe the Nuggets or the Pelicans. Or the Hornets. Good franchise right there.
The Kings.
Yeah. Elite squad.
Timberwolves always been nasty.
I don't know. Come on.
The Wizards.
I don't have a list yet.
Wow.
I have my 1, 2, 3, and 5.
I have 1, 2.
We're not doing honorable.
I got my last team. I might. I want to see if there's any other. I might have an honorable mention. I don't really know. Probably
I
not.
don't know who my number 3 is, man.
My top 3 were easy for me.
My top 3 were easy. My top 4 are pretty easy, actually.
I'm sorry, if you have Golden State in your top 5, like, come on now.
Well, someone
Bro, I had a number 3 down, and then
I
I
don't think they
accidentally
belong in the
deleted
top
it. and I
5.
As
can't remember what I
Golden
had.
State.
I don't think Golden State belongs in
Yeah,
the top
Isaac,
5.
I disagree with you on that, but let's
In the
not get
top
into it.
5?
Out of
I don't
every
have
team.
the top 5.
Just
I
because
don't
they've
have the
had
top 5.
success over the past 10 years, the NBA has been in existence for like 70.
They
not true.
they were good.
They've gotten half of their championships in the past 10 years, but it's only half.
When did they
Like,
get their other championship?
At one point, they had Wilt.
1947, 1956, and 1975. But let's stop arguing right now and just focus on our list, and then we'll talk about it later.
Are y'all ready?
No, I'm
Who we got?
trying to think of the number 3.
How many people? We got 8 people watching right now. We have 10 likes. Yeah.
I'm sunburnt. That's nice.
Like, I'm thinking of some teams, but like they totally dropped off. But like they didn't even win championships, but they were just so dominant back then. Actually, hold on.
I'm trying to think.
Who has a
So
completed? Who has a completed
am I going
list?
first like always though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who has a
Alright.
completed list?
I did, but I'm like second guessing some things. So I'm just re-looking at
I'm
teams.
not done yet.
I'm not done either. It's between 2 teams right now, honestly. That's kind of my opinion. Like, they've been dominant and like they've made the playoffs consistently. But
Wait,
like,
going off of like right now or all time?
no,
All-time.
all time, like all time, yeah. Like has been a good franchise like since back then too.
Yeah, I'm doing
Yo, we should reverse the order so Isaac and I go first and second.
it. Okay, that's fine with me.
You sure?
I have top
I don't
4.
care.
I have my top 4.
Usually when I go first, anyways, I get shit. So, yeah.
Yeah, that'll give Miles more time to adjust his list.
No, oh my! I literally was gonna throw one person in and back up the rest of the people on that rap.
Jokes every time. I was just gonna throw Apology in number 3 and it was gonna be fine.
Yeah, basically.
Alright.
I'm debating on 2 teams, bro.
I have my top 5.
Alright, Isaac, do you have
I'm
your
all set.
5?
I have my top 5.
Alright, then you two go, and then I'll be done.
No, I just want to have us all finish, and then
Yeah.
finish in like a minute or two, because we have 10 viewers. So
Robot said Cleveland? There's no way Cleveland is a top 5 franchise, I'm sorry. Or Miami. No way.
no.
Miami could be.
No way.
Miami's been consistent throughout.
The 2000s.
Yes. What about
And
the
before, when they
1990s?
had Alonzo Mourning and like Penny Hardaway.
Okay, what about the 80s, 70s,
They didn't get the
60s?
championship, though.
Miami's top
They
10.
won one in 06.
Miami can be in top 10, but I wouldn't put it
I
top
think
5.
they're top 10, but only because of their location and how Miami is like
Good spot for
like
free agents and stuff.
almost a super city.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't
Trying to
don't
think of
think there's any.
arguments for these guys. So this one I'll do.
One of my teams, I didn't even go by championships. But, like they're my number
If you
5.
can make a case for it, make a case for it.
No, yeah. It's,
Alright, Isaac, you can go. I think we're all set.
Everybody have their lists.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 1, I have the Lakers. Because of the fact that like they might have less titles than the Celtics, but they have more dominant eras. Because the Celtics got like over half of their championships from the Bill Russell age, but the Lakers had the Kobe age, the Magic Johnson age, the Jerry West age, when they added Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So I don't know. I think that they've just been more dominant over the years. And then number 2, I have the Celtics. So you have the Bill Russell era, most dominant era ever. Then you have Larry Bird, and the Big 5 with Dennis Johnson, Kevin McHale, Danny Ainge, and Robert Parrish. So they're extremely dominant. And then you also have the Big 3, so Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. They're a consistent playoff threat in the East, so put them up there. Number 3, I have the Spurs. The Spurs dynasty in the late 2000s was one of the most dominant ever, and Popovich is the best coach to ever live. So I don't know. I thought that they were really good, and then they also had David Robinson in the early 2000s, and then for the 4, I have the Knicks. So they had Patrick Ewing early on, and then in the 2010s, they had Melo, so they were a consistent playoff threat. And then number 5, I have the Rockets. So past they had Hakeem and Dream, and then now they have Harden.
Who'd you go for 4?
The Knicks. So 1 Lakers, 2 Celtics, 3 Spurs, 4 Knicks, 5 Rockets.
I was gonna throw them in my list, but there was a few reasons why I didn't.
All right,
Alright, my list. Number 1, Lakers. I agreed with everything Isaac said. On top of that, they're one of the 3 teams currently that are valued over $4 billion, which money can be attributed to success. And if your franchise is valued over $4 billion, that's insane. So they got my vote for number 1. Number 2, Celtics, just because they have the most titles. Winning attributed to success. Number 3 is the Warriors. They're tied for 3rd for most titles, and they're valued at over $4 billion currently, so it's a pretty solid stat line for the Warriors. 4 is the Bulls, just because of their 6 championships and really dominant 90s era. And they've had a couple more championships on top of that. They've had 6. Or no, that was all during the 90s, my bad. So yeah, just because of the 90s and the city of Chicago, they got my number 4. And then number 5 is the Spurs, just because of their overall success.
So that's a solid list.
Solid.
I have number 1 the Celtics. I have the Celtics over the Lakers because even though they got a lot of their titles early on, I still believe that the East was a much harder conference to come out of than the West, during the time of Kobe and Magic. I think that the Celtics, even though they had Larry Bird, I still think that the Eastern Conference, especially when MJ entered the league, I feel like just that area and that era with the Eastern Conference at that stage was very hard to come out of. And you can tell just because of how many times the Lakers made it back-to-back to the finals. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Celtics had a tougher road to get there. And then with the Kobe era, obviously they were the big three in Boston. But at the same time, you had originally LeBron in the Cavs, and then when he entered the Heat, and then he had the Heat, and then I don't know, I feel like they had a much harder road once again to get to the finals than the Lakers did in the Western Conference. What?
Would you put at that position you were just talking about?
That's one, Celtics.
Oh, okay.
That's a decent.
And then two, I have the Lakers because it's just given. And then for number three, I have the Spurs because I think they're a very dominant franchise. They're over the entire course of their existence. They have a 62.41 percentage, and they average finals appearance every 6 years. So that's pretty elite, if you ask me. And then for number three, number four, I have the Bulls because of the Jordan era and everything that's kind of gone on around there. And then they had if Derrick Rose stayed healthy, I believe that franchise would have been on top for a long time. But sadly, he got hurt. But once again, I mean, average a championship every 7 years, over 50% win percentage throughout their existence. They're a dominant team. And then number five, I have the Knicks because, I mean, they're worth $4.6 billion, number one in the entire league. And even though success doesn't exactly follow the franchise, the fact that they're able to bring in the fan base and the money with everything that they have going on in that city, especially with Brooklyn right next to them, I mean, they're competing with an up-and-coming franchise, and for them to still carry that kind of payload is pretty insane.
It's a solid list.
Is it Mike now?
Yeah, I pretty much had the same list as Max, except I switched. Number 1 and 2. I had the Lakers first and the Celtics second.
And everything else was the same.
Yeah, I had Spurs, Bulls, then Knicks.
Wait, so Mike, you had LA, Celtics, Spurs, Bulls, Knicks. My number 5 was like a tough choice to me. That's just that I have an honorable mentions because like that's just so debatable to me. But I just threw a team in there. Number 5, I have the Warriors. Just they got 3 championships back in the era back then. But I feel like they haven't really fell off in a way. They brought their team in the last decade. They were able to build their team and be able to get more championships in the past decade. Number 4, I have the Bulls just because of their dominant era back then. And on Max's point, if Derrick Rose didn't get hurt, they would be a threat in the league more of recently. 3, I have the Spurs. They're just flat out dominant. They're always gonna show up in the finals some point in a decade. It's gonna happen, and Pop is just a great coach. 2, I have the Lakers because they have been dominant over the whole all of the NBA and all their championships they had and all the star talent that they've drafted and come across during their time. And number 1, I have the Celtics, just because they have the most championships. They've stayed dominant throughout all of the NBA. And one bigger point that I've had with this is that Celtics low-key had like you see all the big names of the Lakers, like the Magic Johnson, Kareem, Kobe, now LeBron, Shaq. There's way more. I just can't think of them off the top of my head right now. But then I feel like the Celtics had kind of less of a star power, like throughout the whole NBA. That's why I put them at number 1, and they were able to come out with the championships.
I think having big star players makes your franchise better because it gives your franchise a face.
No, it does. But
I also think though that the Lakers had a much weaker conference to fight through to make it to the finals. And
at that time,
like when obviously the Celtics had an early point in their stage of existence. Obviously they had Bill Russell, which is a problem. But I mean, when the Lakers were around in 1949, they won 6 of their championships. So like, you know, give or take what you get. And then 1960s, they won 3, I'm pretty sure. So like, obviously, like they're in the same stage as the Celtics are. And the fact that in the Kobe era when he had Shaq and stuff, I mean, I'm not saying that everyone else just didn't feel comparable to the Lakers. Obviously, that's because they were good, but I think it was a much weaker conference to try to come out of than the Eastern Conference at that point. Obviously, it's switched now, but at that point in time, the Eastern Conference, in my opinion, was a much more dominant conference, just because they had the Heat, I feel like the Celtics had more obstacles, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because they always had a big 3 in their conference that always ran through other teams, and there was like always 3 good big 3 teams. In the West, you had Kobe, and then who was there right next to him? I mean, they would win by 10 games every conference and every year. Like it was just it didn't feel like they had any competition to fight back at them, in my opinion.
It's fair.
Should we vote now?
What Hayden said, I just have just a quick little thing, because he said, because obviously more star power puts more of a face like to your team, but it's like the Celtics were able to kind of still have like they have one more championship than the Lakers, but they were able to like get all those championships with like those not so star players. And like
they got 11 championships with Bill Russell in an era where height like dominated.
Well, yeah, and the Lakers got 7 with the Bill Russell era, and then like 10 years later they got 4. So like it evens out.
Well, Bill Russell carried.
I mean, they got 6 under the Minneapolis Lakers. Like they didn't even win as the LA Lakers. They didn't even win all 16.
No, that still counts, Hayden.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, but like you know, they both won titles in nonsensical eras.
Yeah, but Bill Russell was a 7-footer playing in the 60s when there was 6'9".
All right, but in the 50s, the Lakers won 6 titles.
Okay, and in the 60s...
That's the same comparison. I'm sure they had some Johnny Blackbeard too, but, you know...
Oh my God.
From the fact that they won 7 titles.
Okay, but the Celtics won 11 of them. And I believe... Who else did they have? Like John Havlicek or whatever his name was?
Havlicek.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, my point was out of, like, the whole entire franchise, the Lakers have had more star power. Mm-hmm. And we still have 1 extra championship than them. It's just we were able to stay up with them with less star power. That's why I put them at 1.
Okay, but the Celtics are not valued as much money, not even close.
Yeah, but that's 2 different. Like LA, of course you're going to be valued more.
No, yeah, you can't really.
Same way the Knicks are valued more. They're in New York. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
the Knicks aren't a good franchise, but they're valued at $46 billion because they're in the middle of NYC.
What were you saying, Hayden?
I think money, it can be attributed to success. And they have the 2nd most wins.
Well, let me ask you.
Have the ability...
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Alright, how much success has the Knicks had over the years?
Not much.
Then why are they worth $46.6 billion?
Because they're in New York and they've made it to the finals a bunch, and people
Well,
want.
yeah, but then you can make the same comparison to the Lakers.
Sure, but because of their location, that helps them be more successful. So
That's what I'm saying. So there's a reason Boston doesn't have as much money as those two areas. They're not
Boston
a big area.
is a city that people want to go to.
Yeah, but not.
Yeah, but it doesn't beat New York and LA.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you put LA, Boston, Miami, all of those cities in the same sort of group. LA, Boston, New York, Miami.
Yeah.
They all get
Let's get a milk check.
one of those cities that you want to go to. So you can't really say that LA is a more like pleasurable place to go than Boston. It's
You
very
still got a
Well,
ways
that's
to
why all the
go.
players want to go to LA, because everyone enjoys LA more.
okay, but people want to go to Boston too.
Not nearly as much, though. And plus population. They make money off population. I mean, LA has, God, how many thousands of more people than Boston?
Millions.
Like, they have
Millions.
a bigger population. Yeah, like, you're going to
So do you
make
have a
money
say
off
on
the
this?
amount of people that are in that state.
Well, I think I agree on the fact that the Celtics have kind of beaten the higher ups and they've gone through a much tougher road, but I don't think that has any say on the fact of like how much success you have. You know what I mean? Like the Lakers had star power. They had the best players in the league. They had the best players ever. And for that reason, on top of the fact that they're a more successful location, they've made more revenue, and they are only a few titles behind the Celtics, I think that alone just puts them at such a high level where it's kind of
Alright.
undebatable.
Can I,
Well, I
can I
could.
say something real quick?
Yeah.
Alright, so in 2000, when they went on the three-peat series, right?
Right.
The Lakers were the 1 seed, and the Jazz were 12 games behind, and then the Trailblazers behind them 17 games, 22 games. The 8 seed was 24 games behind the 1 seed in 2000. In the Eastern Conference, you had the Pacers, then the Heat 4 games back, the Knicks 6 games, Hornets 7, Sixers 7, Raptors 11, 14. There was like the competition in the two conferences it seemed unmatched.
Okay, but I think if you
Like-
switch the Lakers and the Celtics, the Lakers would have had just as much, if not more, success because they had a better team. That's why they won more often, and that's in that generation. If you take out,
look
if
at
you
the
What,
Western
what generation are you talking about?
The Western Conference is so much more difficult
the
right now.
2000, all right,
Like I see
Hypothetical.
I see
Now,
this
and there's a
case.
reason they haven't won a title in 7 years.
I see this case with like what Hayden and Isaac are saying, like for only like one reason. It's because like notice how LeBron wanted to go to LA, Paul George wanted to go to LA, like Anthony Davis.
Kawhi wanted to go to LA.
Kawhi
AD
wanted to go
to LA.
Like I can see that
Like,
more
that's
because
not,
LA.
That's not team power. That's location.
Yeah, but
Okay, so
yeah.
Kawhi grew up in
are the
LA.
Clippers good?
yeah, but they think LA is a historic franchise.
That's why they don't go to the Clippers. They go to
That's
the
why
Lakers.
the 2 of them went to the Clippers, though.
Okay, but okay, so you have.
I
the
think it's
Lakers
more
have
about location with these guys than it is about money. Yeah, I mean about team.
I disagree. The Lakers,
Because-
they do have a good location, but they also have a long historic background of winning, and they have a franchise worth over $4 billion. The
Alright,
Knicks,
but winning doesn't matter if you're not doing it now.
That's
Like, who cares if you won 17 titles? That doesn't help you at this point.
but this is an all-time list, not a right-now list. So
I know, but you're saying that, like, people are wanting to go to LA for the team, but, like, what does historic have to do with anything if you're not winning at this point?
because if LeBron goes to the Lakers, right? People now compare him to Kobe, they compare him to Magic, they compare him to Shaq, and the overall success that those other players had. If he goes to the Clippers, who's he going to be compared to? Chris Paul?
I think
He
he
went
was.
to LA for the location, though.
I know, but I
He went
think-
to LA
But there's
for
a
the
reason he
Lakers.
chose the Lakers over the Clippers.
Yeah, but you also got to look at the money. I mean, who offered more? He's not stupid.
I also.
The Clippers didn't have money at that point because they were paying Chris. No, they weren't.
Because they're
Chris
paying
Paul.
other players.
It's just either way.
They're playing players of a lesser legacy.
I still think LeBron either way would be compared. LeBron would still be compared to all those
LeBron's being
greats.
compared to MJ. Never mind Kobe. Like, it's not about his legacy that he's worried about. I think it was about LA as a city. that he wanted to go to.
What do you guys think of the
If Kawhi was
comments?
so
I think it's
worried
'cause it
about
was a great
legacy, why
franchise.
didn't he join the Lakers as well?
Because
If Paul George was so worried about legacy, why didn't he join the Lakers?
Well, at that point, the Lakers probably.
the Lakers
Kawhi-
didn't
Kawhi
offer
signed-
them.
Lakers
The
signed
Lakers didn't
LeBron
offer them
and
anything.
AD though. I know, but they signed LeBron AD. They don't got money.
They didn't offer them anything.
They wanted Kawhi and LeBron and AD. They wanted to create a super team. They had the money. They offered him the money. He turned it down and went to the Clippers. It's not about the team. It's about the location. Kawhi's been wanting to go to LA ever since he was on the Spurs, and it's because where he grew up.
I think both what like me and Max are talking about, and then what Hayden and Isaac are talking about, like they're valid points. Like I believe that they're all valid.
Both are,
points.
yeah, they're both decent, good arguments that can.
It's
win
just
for each
that's
side.
it's kind of like the MJ LeBron talk for the best player. It's like you can have valid points, but you can't. You're never gonna come to a conclusion.
Yeah. Do you want to
of-
start voting? Because we're coming close to an hour
Yeah.
of streaming. So we're
Yeah.
starting with me, right?
Yeah, I just wanna. Can I just ask Hayden, what was your bottom three, and Isaac, what was your bottom three?
I had Warriors number 3, Bulls 4, Spurs 5.
All right, and Isaac.
I had Spurs 3, Knicks 4, Rockets 5.
All right.
All right. So for my vote, it's between Mike and Hayden because they're the only other people that put Lakers over Celtics. And
Wait,
my
do worst first.
worst. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say Miles
Damn.
because your list matches Max's, but the Knicks are just a better franchise than the Warriors. Like.
I
It is
was
what it
only
is.
I was debating on the Knicks, but
Yeah.
I didn't put them in because
You would've
yeah,
had
they
the
were
same
dominant, but it's just
They didn't win much.
they never really. I don't think they don't have a championship, do they? I don't think like
Yeah, they do.
Patrick Ewing, like
Yeah,
they
they
never
do.
won.
I'm pretty sure.
Like
they have a championship.
they gave the Bulls a run for their money, but they never
The
won.
way that I
They
graded
won
my
70 and 73. So
Was that Patrick Ewing era? I
No.
don't think that was Patrick
Ewing
Ewing.
was 98.
So
That's-
before Patrick.
That's the only reason why I didn't put them in my top 5.
yeah, but
Was
I
because they were dominant. Oh my bad. You talk. My bad.
I think like for me, I would rather hold a higher importance for overall like continuous success and playoff appearances over like 3 championships over like a 30-year time period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're saying the Warriors don't belong top 5, but the Warriors have won it 6 years and lost 6 years, or
So
5 years.
besides the Steph Curry era, right? What are the 3 championships years wise that they won the championship?
1947, 1956, 1975.
Okay, well,
So
your
that's
point about
3
the Bill
different
Russell era
decades.
is
So that's
exactly
3
that
different
point right there.
decades. That's
That's
3 different decades.
contradicting what you've been saying.
They were still there.
That's 3 different
so-
decades.
Bill Russell's era with the Lakers, so now you have 2 contradicting points.
But I wasn't talking about Bill Russell era specifically to how basketball was played. I was talking about it how Bill Russell carried the Celtics for 11 years, and that was the reason they won.
Okay.
Like,
In a bad era.
Can I cast?
Alright.
Can I cast my vote?
Alright, keep going. Yeah,
Bill
keep
Russell
going,
was a
Isaac.
big
But
man in the era of small basketball.
let Isaac decide.
The reason I think the Knicks are a better franchise than the Warriors is the Warriors won 3 championships over a 30-year period. So they won once in a decade. So that means they could have had just one really good team because of free agent signings, not because of an overall team building through the draft, through the free agents, and through development. They only did, like, that's most likely because they just had some big free agent signings that made their team good for a year or 2. Whereas the Knicks, they developed their players through the draft, through free agency. They got young players, and they just were a consistent playoff threat for the East. And
So you're saying that the Warriors didn't draft Steph, they didn't draft Clay, they didn't draft Draymond.
I'm talking about prior to the 2000s, so the 1900s.
I think they didn't they draft Wilt though back then?
No, well, it was on 3 different teams before he entered the Knicks. I mean, the Warriors.
I just think that if you take the eras that the Knicks
No,
were
Golden
successful,
State did draft Wilt, too. Selected by the Philadelphia
Yeah,
Phillies.
He was on the
76ers.
He was on Philadelphia.
I think that Miles has the worst vote. Sorry,
I can't
buddy.
catch a break, bro. I
Sorry.
can never win.
Also, Wilt low-key carried the Warriors to a title.
Alright, Isaac, let's wrap this up. So
And then
I need shit.
the best would probably be Mike's. Just because I don't think the Warriors belong in number 3. So Mike is my best list vote.
Alright, Hayden.
I don't have worst yet. Hold on.
Max.
So,
Oh, do you have it? Do you have it, Hayden? Who's it between?
I think it's between. I think it. Nah, I just think Isaac has the worst list because of the Rockets 5. Like, I don't know.
I don't think
Like,
so.
they've had good players and they're in a decent location, but I just don't think they're top 5. I think they're top 10, but not top 5. And I don't like Knicks at number 4. Like, they've obviously, like, been in contention a ton, and they've had a lot of money, and they're a $4 billion franchise, but I think you have to back up having a lot of money with winning, especially if you're in a location like New York.
Yeah, they had
You should be
consistent
held at a
winning.
higher standard, and only winning 2 championships is, like, kind of unacceptable for a city like New York.
But like that, there's a reason why they were like constantly in the playoffs.
Because people want to go to New York, and if they're
I
constant
wouldn't say New York's had a lot of great teams in the past. They kind of make what they have.
They had the
work.
Melo era, they had the
They had
Ewing
great
era,
teams.
they had the Bernard King era.
hmm And how many championships do they have?
How many championships do I don't know.
Anyone on my list has above 5. The Knicks have 2.
Yo, Isaac got
And
shit.
if you have that amount of money, and you're in a location like New York, you should not be choking in the playoffs that frequently. And because
Yeah,
of
I
that,
don't know. I
have
think,
Isaac's
but that
list
could have
as
been due
worst
to like
because-
certain factors, like that could have happened throughout the season or throughout the playoffs. But
Well, you also gotta remember the Eastern Conference was a very dominant conference all the way up until the 2000s.
yeah, I don't know.
Fair.
Like,
Right.
extremely dominant.
So you vote me last.
Like, how many titles could have anybody won during the MJ era? He pretty much owned the East. And then the Larry Bird era owned the East.
Yeah, and also like I don't know. I
The
think the
Russell
Rockets
era
belong up there
owned
because
the
they
East.
contended with the Bulls at that point in time, and then
that's
they also
what-
have the
that's why
Harden
I
era
still
now.
believe, like, the Lakers aren't one, because I feel like they didn't have that competition that the Celtics did.
Yeah, I feel that.
So who's your
Like,
best?
you put the Lakers in the East, in some of those, in, like, the early 80s and stuff. Like, I don't see them making title runs like they did.
Alright, Hayden, what's your number 4?
I don't know about number
number
4, number 3, but for my best list, I chose Miles.
So, well, whoever, it doesn't really matter because Mike and Max got like the tie thing.
hmm So for best, Miles, and for worst, Isaac.
All right, Max.
Is it me?
Yep.
Alright, I'm gonna have to go with Hayden for the worst, just because I don't agree with the Warriors at 3. And the Spurs below the Bulls. I just think the Spurs have a better franchise overall than the Bulls do. And the Warriors at 3 kind of sticks out, in my opinion. And then I like Miles' list as well, because he is the Spurs above Bulls. And even though he has the Warriors, at least they're at 5, which like is acceptable, in my opinion. I mean, I still don't know. I still want to consider them 5, but it's better than 3. So I'm gonna have to do Miles is the worst, Miles is the best, Caden's is the worst.
I pretty much have the same list as you, besides the Lakers and Celtics.
I know, but I don't know. I feel like it would be unfair if I chose you because like they're so identical.
Okay.
Plus I don't like the Lakers at 1. So like.
Well, for my worst, I'm gonna have to go with Hayden. because I also don't agree with the Warriors at 3. And then for best, I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with Isaac as best.
I'm not with you.
Well, I'm not gonna be like biased just so that I win, just so you know, because I have 2, but I'm not gonna like do that. All right. So, at worst, see, it's like, the only reason why right now I'm debating Hayden's is, yeah, I have the Warriors, but I wouldn't put them at 3. See,
Green just kind of sticks out. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like Tom Brady
It's
at
like,
4.
That's not. Yeah, that's top 3 you're talking about. You're not even talking about top 5 with that.
yeah. I'm gonna put Hayden last again.
Tough.
I personally like Mike and Max's list better than yours, Isaac, so I'm gonna put you
Second at worst.
third. It's third, I think. Yeah. They're just, literally, theirs is identical, and the only part I disagree with Mike's is LA at number 1. So for that, I have to give Max the win for that.
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
If LA, I mean, even though this is highly unethical, but if LA was in the Eastern Conference, do you think they would have brought in all the star power in that they would have in the Western Conference because of their chances of winning as much?
Well, what would have been the
Are you
difference?
Are you saying would they have their star power? Like would
They have all
would
the,
they
like, if,
so
since you
would they
guys
have
believe
the
that-
people that they drafted? Would they have the people that they
No, I'm
drafted?
saying since you guys believe that LA as a team historically is the reason that people want to go there, if they were in the Eastern Conference and then they had to go up against the teams the Celtics did, they probably wouldn't have been as successful. So do you think the star power still would have gone to LA?
Well,
Because they wouldn't have.
If they had the same amount of success, yeah.
I know that's highly unethical because LA can't go into East, but like,
the only
the situation.
the only point I can contrast about what you're saying is that they still they play them, so they play, what is it, 2 times a year they play their conference, or is it 4?
Who?
Their conference. They
You
play,
played 4, I believe.
so you play your conference 4 times a year.
Mhm.
You still have that's you play more with your conference, but you're also playing against those Eastern Conference teams, and LA still is dominating.
Well, yeah, but how many? I don't know. I feel like if LA is in the Eastern Conference all those years, they don't win as many titles. I'm not saying the Celtics would have won either. I'm just saying they would have balanced out, and the star power wouldn't have all crawled to LA as they did. You could say, given the historic idea that they have behind the team.
All right, so, it looks like Miles won.
Let's go! Yo.
Miles,
That's the
Miles
only.
a good comeback after last stream.
Yeah.
and Hayden, unfortunately, the consensus loss.
Feels bad, man.
Tough. Come back.
Well,
Come back next
if you
year.
had a win, do you think that would matter?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get into this.
According to
one
my
again.
calculations, I think that Isaac should be last.
Yeah,
Kidding.
mine evens out. So.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Right.
so what were the final votes?
Me last, and then
You and Mike tied. You and Mike tied. Isaac had a loss, so Isaac would be
Second to last.
4th.
Yep.
4th,
And
yeah.
then Max and Mike.
You
tied
guys,
for
you guys
second.
tied for 2nd. So
And then Miles won.
woohoo! We need a milk check.
Yep.
No
What are you
check.
looking like, Mike?
Yeah, Mike, you're long past an hour, buddy.
Oh my.
I wouldn't even call that 75.
That's so.
Mike?
That's not 75.
Mike, that's not
like
75.
six. That's like 60.
That's Mike. That's closer to half. That's
all
closer
that.
to half.
That's like 60. That's like 60, 60.
Mike, just give it a little slurp right now and see what happens. Give it a little chug. Just have it right now. Just like fight through the pain and finish it all.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the Chroma's spamming chug in the chat. Yo, should we put it in our stories real quick? Watch Mike chug the drink right now.
Yeah.
Yo, Mike, let's finish it on stream here. Come on.
Uh-oh, Mike.
You got this.
Mike, you're gonna eat.
Come on, Mike. You can't fail the challenge. You already failed the other one. Come on, Mike. Show that puppy. Forget about 75%. You have to chug it. Come on.
That is 100% 75%.
No,
That's
it's
not
not.
the point. Drink it up.
See how far you can get though.
Yeah, drink it up. Come on now.
That's not.
Just finish it.
But we're expecting
You're supposed to
100.
try and finish it if you can. Like, if
How are you feeling right now?
Mike, I thought you said it was gonna be easy.
You feeling a bit bloated, Mike?
Yo, Mike's about to piss like for 2 minutes later.
It's just gonna be white too. He's just gonna piss.
No, he's literally gonna piss out all the milk.
I can't do it anyway. That shit sucks.
Uh-oh, Mike.
Come on, Mike.
You might have to do another spin,
Chug,
bud.
chug, 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 chug.
Yeah,
Chug it.
Tell you what.
Mike, chug it.
If you don't, get it below the label, and we won't make you do another.
Below the label, that would be the whole thing, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the
Exactly.
point, bud.
So keep doing.
Mike,
alright,
Mike,
let me see where it's at. Where's it at, Mike? Let me see it on the label. Where it is on the label.
Much, but it's literally.
No, hold it straight.
Get
Hold
it below
straight.
the nutrition facts and you're fine.
Yeah, what if you
Yeah.
get it below the nutrition facts?
It's literally right here. That's so much.
Mike, go get a
Get below
cup
the
and just
nutrition.
pour it into cups and drink one cup at a time.
No.
Yep.
I'm still.
Should we get
below the
Matisse to
nutrition
drink a gallon? He wants to come on
If
the
you
show.
if you get it like below the nutrition facts, you don't have to do the next challenge.
I'm not gonna do another challenge. I've pretty much done this whole thing.
That's like
Of course.
60%.
I'm gonna lose next week, not this week because I already finished, but next week because I want to do the milk challenge.
But you don't know if you're gonna do
Then
the milk
just do
challenge.
it anyways. You don't need
Yeah,
to
just do it anyways. Yeah, you don't need to lose. Just do it anyways. For views.
If you're
Should
gonna
we-
lose,
yo,
at least, like,
Alright, wait. Pull it up again. Pull up the milk. Alright, you gotta be fair. Like, he did drink all of that milk.
Oh, obviously, but like, give it another swig, Mike. Come on, one more.
No.
That's like
One more.
60%.
One more swig.
Damn.
Mike, how much like are you struggling right now?
What?
How much are you struggling?
Mike, if we get past 12 I don't think we're gonna get past 12 viewers because I put on my story to watch you chug it. If we were gonna get past 12 viewers, I'd say give it one more chug.
If we get 15 likes right now,
I'm going on all my backup accounts. Going all your backup accounts. I think this is the highest likes we had.
Yeah.
Alright, well, do you want to end it there? We got 9.
Yeah, we
You
can
guys want to end it there?
we
or-
can end it.
Mike, give it one more slurp.
Yeah, one more slide before we
do
end
it for
it.
the viewers. Come on,
Like
now.
one more
slurp, and I've done it like 3 times.
Come on.
one more
Come on,
slide.
Mike.
One more
The
slide.
this one viewer came to watch you drink milk.
One more
Drink some
slide.
milk for him.
Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike.
Drink some milk for him. Come on now.
Come on. Mike, you got it.
One person showed up to drink milk, to watch you drink milk. Do it for the culture.
Come on, Mike. I believe in you.
That or you have to use Crowbuck's towel in the locker room next time.
Ew. Just one.
Alright,
What's spam?
y'all want to just end it there? Isaac, you call it off?
Yeah. Mike came very close to finishing the challenge, but we'll be
Give him
sure
props for
to.
that.
Yeah. Good stuff to Mike. We'll be sure to continue updating you guys on our future challenge.
Wait, can I say something?
Yeah, go
We
for
just
it.
deleted.
Mike, did you just... Oh my god.
Mike is weak, so I removed his mod and kicked him out.
Jesus. I'm gonna add him back to mod.
Remove him now.
Alright.
Did you time him out?
Yeah.
No, he banned him.
No, I didn't. You can't even.
Robot 2 was struck with the ban hammer.
He really watches our whole streams. Like,
Mad watch
He's
out.
our number one subscriber.
We love
we got
Chris.
3 new viewers, bro. You gotta chug a little milk.
Alright, I'm out. Peace out, boys.
Come on, Mike.
Boo. Wow. Alright. Mike has now left the
I'll do
stream.
the milk challenge on Friday and I'll finish it.
Yeah?
Yeah?
We'll see about that.
Alright, Hayden's doing the milk challenge on Friday
I'm
then.
doing it on Friday.
Tune in to
But he got organic milk.
what's the
Nah, I'm
difference?
gonna buy some like store-bought stuff because organic stuff like is harder to drink than normal milk.
Isn't it thicker?
Yeah, and it has all the
Organic milk is mad good.
because it's not pasteurized, so it just like has like cream and I don't know.
Dummy thick, and it will just blow up your stomach.
So I'll have to go buy some pasteurized stuff.
2%.
Yeah.
Alright.
That 2% milk.
But yeah,
Well,
tune
Oh, wait,
in.
hold up. Are you guys ready for online math tomorrow?
Oh, we got a new sub.
I haven't
51
done
subs.
theology.
I might scream during it.
I have theology, bro. Toronto's about a force.
Wait, what's online? What tomorrow?
Mass.
So after second period, everybody has to go online.
No, it's gonna be on your class.
They're gonna screen share. What's that guy's name that does our matches?
Roy.
Yeah, Father Roy is gonna screen record, or he's gonna share a match that we have to tune into
When is this?
after second period or during second period.
But it's gonna be in your class.
Class? Like what?
Yeah.
No, yeah. It's gonna be it's a liturgy schedule.
Mike.
So it's gonna go 1, 2, mass 4, 3, 5.
You gotta drink some
I'm
milk.
here for some milk. Come on.
Come on.
Wait, time out. I need to understand the schedule. So, are classes shorter, or do we have a longer school day?
They're 5 minutes shorter.
These are shorter, but
It's
it's
5 minutes short, yeah.
Okay. And so, what class do we join during the mass?
During second period,
stay
you're
in
not
second.
gonna leave when it ends.
So, who do we have?
I have
I have
history.
the
Oh,
wrong
I'm psych. Mr. Levine's gonna be like, honestly, you guys can just like go, and I'll count you as here.
I'm just gonna turn my camera.
Hey, Christian Noble, Shyverse
The
here.
volume too is mad quiet.
Maz, Spanish tomorrow for, that's gonna,
Mike, Chris is here for the milk, man. You gotta give him a little sip.
no, I'll give
Come on, one sip. One sip.
Boo.
Mike quit.
Mike.
Alright, well, I think we'll wrap up the stream here. Tune in to Friday's stream to watch Hayden potentially drink a gallon of milk. That's gonna be an interesting one. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the stream. We're gonna continue to update you guys with the future 10-mile challenge, and whoever's most likely to be doing the challenge wheel by the end of that. And
I think it's gonna be me.
possibly.
Mike just timed out Chris.
But yeah.
Hey, thank you all for 50 subscribers.
Yeah, man, big milestone. Here we come to 100. That's gonna wrap up the stream, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate all your support.
Better audio.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, this is it. Hayden, you wanna end it off?
Yeah.